Okay, hi everybody. It is Tuesday, March 24th. You're here at the weekly community call for chaos. So good to see everyone. Really glad you're here. Let me share my screen. There we go. Nope. Yep. There we go. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't get too choppy. If it does, I'm going to turn my camera off because my internet has been so weird lately. I don't understand. Something's going on. Actually, I am going to turn my camera off because stop video. There we go. Maybe that will be helpful. Okay. Yeah. If you have not added your name here and told us what your favorite subject was in school, yeah, I'm just curious. I think mine was English. I did well in math, but I don't really like math, honestly. It's hard. So is English, to be fair, but I did like that. Okay, if you haven't been here in a couple of weeks, we have been rotating facilitators ish. We've been rotating ish, I should say, because nobody wants to facilitate, which is also totally fine. So if there is someone that wants to facilitate next week, we do have a guide for you. It is easier than it seems like it would be, so no need to be intimidated. But yeah, if anyone wants to do that, raise your hand.
Have we
I
made a
can.
spreadsheet yet?
No, we haven't made a spreadsheet yet. We are haven't even gotten people to to volunteer during the meeting. So I think
Yes.
yeah,
I think that it might be easier for people to see dates and fill in their available like I know that's how I would like sign up. I'm sure I'm happy to facilitate some meetings, but like on a in a spot in a call, I won't be the one to be like, "Oh yeah, I'll do this," because I'm that's just not really how my brain works. And so
fair.
it might be easier to allow people to fill in and we can then distribute it on general and people can fill in based off of their like availability a little bit farther out. And I also might promote doing that. There's a discussion of doing this as well for the data science working group. And so I might just ask if we can, if people for their respective working groups want to make a tab similar to how we have for the general meetings, if that's how people want to facilitate. I know that's what we're looking at doing for the data science working group, so it might make sense for those to all live in the same place.
And while we want to figure that out, I am happy to facilitate the call for next week. Except anything changes, I will let I will let
Ex
Elizabeth know. But yeah, I can.
Excellent. Thank you, Mary Blessing and Callie. That is a great point, which makes total sense to me. So I will do that. I love that idea. There we go.
Because yeah, I do think there's probably more people who would be willing, just in a little bit of a different format.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you, Mary Blessing, and you are all set for next week. I will probably still be here, just to, be here, but so if you do something comes up or whatever, I'm happy to be a backup. No worries at all. Okay. Any other questions, comments, anything on that? All right. This has been this has been on the agenda for I think 4 weeks now, maybe three, because it's here and I'm holding space for it in case someone from the UN SDG working group wants to talk about it, but we haven't had anybody yet that has been able to make it to this meeting to talk about it. So I don't actually know more than what is here. So maybe what I'll do is ask the UN SDG working group to write out a little thing or something? Point us to something so we have a little more information about it. Because that looks interesting and I would like to hear more. Unless anybody on this call knows anything about it. No, I don't think they do. Okay. So we'll just leave it at that. Okay. Have we figured out who Henry is and why the read.ai meeting notes keep showing up? Yeah, that's a big no on both of those things. So there in Zoom, there is supposedly a way to block various domains, subdomains, whatever, from coming into the meeting. We have we have selected every box everywhere in throughout the entire Zoom admin, and nothing works. These bots just keep coming in. Fireflies, like whatever it is, Otter, even Otter, we were just trying to block them all and they just keep coming in. So I kind of gave up, quite frankly. I think maybe 3 or 4 people have looked into this. Nobody can figure it out. So we just keep kicking them out every meeting. There we go. That's our
Is it
solution.
just the community call or is it every call?
I think it's every call, right? Am I right? Other groups have those bots in there too, right?
Because I think the Augur 8 Knot group uses a different link just so that because I think there's like a time conflict or something, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I've seen it in there, but I don't know. Maybe they're attaching to like the chaos link and they just detect every new meeting or something. I don't know. I was just curious because I told one to opt out um in the chat before this meeting and just
Yeah.
curious.
Oh, is that you? Yeah, that was I think that's a good idea. We can certainly try that as well. I don't know that they'll not come back, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it just means it'll not be there for this meeting.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. In answer to your question, no, they're just gonna keep coming in droves. I report them every time as spam. Every time I fill those out. So, my hope is that eventually Zoom will get tired of people doing that and give us better tools to control those. But yeah, our policy here at Chaos is to not have those bots in the meetings because we already are taking notes. We publish these minutes, we publish the videos, and we don't have control over where that data goes if it's getting slurped up by an AI bot. So it's just concerning, and we would rather just not have them here. So that's why, in case anybody wonders. Okay, any other questions, comments, notes, anything on that? We'll just keep fighting big I guess. I don't know. I'm just old and cranky, I think, at this point when it comes to AI. Yeah. Anyway.
Aren't we
Okay.
all? I'm
Right.
there's still a 2 in my in front of my age, and I feel old and cranky about AI.
Well, good. That makes me feel young then. Thanks, Callie.
Don't you worry. We're all we're all together
I love it.
cranky
Thank
about
you.
AI.
I love it. People hating AI more than ice. I mean, that's fair. I hate both. Sorry, I shouldn't be political on here, but yeah, I do hate both of them. Yeah. Anywho, okay, who put this on here? Data Science Working Group? I'm guessing Don or
That was
Callie.
me.
Oh, it was Adrian.
No,
All right.
I sort of, I think that was kind of, I forget exactly what the origin of that conversation was, but it did come up in the data science working group meeting that just happened. And I think it kind of, the feedback was, this is more of a community level conversation.
Okay.
But I think the idea was just like, I think GitHub's website's been not the most reliable in over the last month or so. I keep thinking it's because they keep getting hit by AI bots or whatever, but whatever it is, it's like sometimes I've just had struggles like even just loading the like a diff to review a PR or something.
Mm,
And so I think there was a suggestion to like either mirror the data science working group repo or other repos over to Codeberg. And I think there seemed like there were a fair number of potentially good reasons also good reasons to do that, including one of my goals for this year with Augur is adding support for additional forges like 4GO, which is what Codeberg is based on, and having sort of a set of chaos repos, which is usually the default that Augur looks at over there, might sort of help just once I get to the stage of wanting to test how well Augur collects on that repo, and then we can sort of directly compare the support for 4GO versus GitHub. I think there were some others that I forget too, but I was just curious what people think. Curious to bring this to the community and see.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in the data science working group, I think that we should also have this discussion with Sean because he's not here and he does manage a lot of the chaos infrastructure. So I think this would be good to have a conversation with him, which Adrian, I know you talk to him all the time. Anyways. It would also be good to post this in the general channel for discussion since a lot of people aren't in this meeting. I do not even know what Codeberg is. Can somebody give me a 30
It's
second?
essentially so 4GO is an open source, like basically implementation of kind of a Git forge. Um, and then for Codeberg is kind of like a sort of community instance of that I think is sort of one of the more common like open source GitHub alternatives.
How do you spell that? For GIO? 4GO? Like that? Or you can, oh, forge.io. Okay, that makes sense. But it's pronounced 4GO. That's good to know. I never know how to pronounce things because, you just see it written and you never get to hear. So that is good to know. Do you, Adrian, do you want, or somebody from the data science or working group want to post that in general? I think that would be good. Just so you can explain kind of why and what, and someone's in the meeting link. You mean this, you? Here we go.
Adrian, I'll kind of leave that to you to facilitate, like to lead that conversation.
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, I can post that in general. Is that is that more just like like, hey, we're thinking about this, come share feedback kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, my only concern would be like how does it work like cross like I I wouldn't want to like leave GitHub as the place that like if it's like something that you can do in addition and there is like good bridging between the two. But I don't think I would be pro a complete move over to Codeberg and
No, we talked a long time ago about moving to GitLab, and there were very good reasons that we did not do that. Mostly because of we have GitHub automation, and we just don't have the people and resources to do a migration. Um, but I think, the reason we would have this discussion in general is to get people's feedback and to make sure that, if we did something like this, if we did mirror it to Codeberg, doing it in a way that it's going to actually stay up to date and that we're not going to have issues with the Codeberg instance being out of date and people getting confused about where things are.
yeah, or having only one of them. If it's not, I wouldn't expect compatibility, but kind of like blocking issues and pull requests being open on Coburg unless there is like a bridge functionality, which sounds a little bit would be a little bit complicated, but as like just a pure mirror, like, and if it kept up to date automatically, yeah.
Just a side note, Codeberg comes in mainly from the decentralized side of things. So trying to get away from the corporate Microsoft using their AI to eat all your code, but it doesn't really work because, like you're saying, it just creates more of a splinter web. So don't worry too much about it. Unless you're willing to host your own. In that case, then it's amazing. But if you're not willing to go through the effort, like if you're not on Mastodon or the Fediverse, then you probably don't know about Codeberg.
Are you on mute, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. How does Zoom work? I don't know. Yeah, I can't keep up. I think that's a good point, but also, yeah, the resources that it takes to run that, I don't know that we have those
No,
around.
we do not have those for sure.
But
But
that
I think we
is
should move on because somehow this one got added above some of the other agenda items that are also, I think, pretty important for us to cover today.
okay.
Oh, it looked like they just were copied from last week, so I didn't know if that was intentional or not. So sorry for putting that
Oh,
in
no,
front.
you're good. No, that's fine. That's fine. Just a reminder about the survey that the AI alignment working group has put out. I don't know what the date is that they're ending that, so go fill that out sooner than later. They're just curious to know kind of how we as a community individually are thinking about things in AI. It's hosted by University of Missouri, so it's already gone through those checks and balances about any personal data, which I don't even think they're collecting any, honestly. But it is, you should know that it does have a pretty strict process by which, data is collected and stored. So you should feel safe in filling that out. And also Adrian's still looking for contributors, I assume. Adrian, you're still looking for contributors, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think
Okay.
there's been at least one person show up since last week, so that's been
Okay,
helpful. But
excellent.
yeah, more if people are interested in kind of helping work on a project to detect like just basic disclosure of like, oh, someone had a commit that was like co-authored by or authored by like a known AI tool, like being able to flag that and help metrics tools like Augur kind of see that and things
Sort
like
that
that might
out.
be helpful.
Yeah. So I think actually a lot of people would find that helpful, not just Dogger and Chaos, but a lot of people, because that seems like a very good tool to have. So if you want to help out, that's where you can go to do it, into the Slack channel right here. Moving on, we here is a reminder, Chaos board elections are coming. There is a doc that has the information and we have an FAQ. We do have an issue with the action, the template action to add your PR to this community contributions doc. Just so you know, you can still fill out the PR. There's no problem there. The issue template was mainly just to streamline that process and make it a little easier for folks who are not as familiar with the PR workflow. That is not working right now. We are troubleshooting it. Sean knows about it. He's the one who wrote the thing, so he knows about it. He's looking at it. We'll get it fixed as soon as we can. But yeah, in the meantime, you can still submit a PR to the community contributions file, just straight through that. We did set up a Slack channel to answer any questions. It is just election-help. And the reason I'm in there is because I'm one of the officers. Emma Irwin is one of the officers, and Ali from Red Hat, the Knative community, is also one of the election officers. So feel free to pop in there and ask any questions, and we will answer them to the best of our ability. We are making progress, and we should be announcing the actual timeline of when things are opening pretty soon. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I think we're getting closer to that point. So yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure if you do want to vote or if you do want to run for the board, just make sure that your name shows up in GitHub, so somewhere in CHAOSS, or the badging organization as well is included in that. So happy to answer any questions. If anybody has any right now, I'm super happy to. Okay, it doesn't sound like we have any, but if you do, just pop into that Slack channel and ask, and we'll be happy to help. It's kind of the first, it's the first time for all of us, so it's a learning opportunity and a learning experience for everybody. But yeah, we appreciate your patience as we kind of sort it out. It will be managed by a platform called Electo, which other open source projects use for things like this. I'm not sure if it's open source itself, but it's a great platform. You will need a GitHub account though to vote, and to mark yourself eligible for candidacy. But yeah, I know that's a limiting factor for some, but that's the way it controls who is allowed to vote and who isn't, and just keeps track of all that using your GitHub ID. And so, yeah, if you don't have a GitHub account and you need help with that, you can also ask in the election help channel. I believe we will have a way for you to, a form you can fill out to request to be added to the voting list. But yeah, we don't have that available just yet. But yeah, oh yeah, Don put in a link to the platform if you want
And it is indeed open source.
Oh, good. There we go. Awesomeness all around. And we will also, it is going to be a ranked voting, so you can, rank people 1, 2, 3. And we will also post, if we haven't done that in the FAQ yet, we'll post the algorithm that it uses to determine the winners and such. I'm not sure if we added that in yet.
I think it's mentioned in the election mechanics.
This right here. Yeah, this
method.
Condorcet method. So if you're curious about how that works, you can read all about it. Some light reading for you to do. Yeah. Any other questions? Any questions at all about anything anybody has?
I have one though.
Yeah.
It's a funny question. So are candidates going to be campaigning?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
What was the question? I didn't hear it.
Are candidates going to be campaigning? We haven't really talked about that.
I think no. I think that's in the election mechanics.
In this mechanics doc? Okay.
I think. Yeah, maybe not.
So I think the way that you will quote unquote campaign is you're gonna, if you want to be a candidate, you will fill out a form that tells all of your contributions to the project and of course your name. So that way people can see kind of what you're about and who you are if they don't know you. So I think that's probably the limit of the campaigning, is just to have all your stuff in your doc. If anyone is curious, so as we're building these out, you can go to Knative and see basically what ours is going to look like. I think it's all open, maybe. We'll see. This is kind of what we're modeling ours after. So yeah, and this is all open. So you can just kind of see, what our docs will potentially look like.
Actually, not that EU doc. That's a different thing.
Oh,
Look at that. Sorry, go back one and go to the
the regular, this
the
one.
steering committee. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Don.
Yeah.
So the candidates are going to be like this. So you'll have, this is what your file is going to look like. It will be And we're going to have docs that explain all this, don't worry. But your raw markdown file will look like this as a candidate. But yeah, poke around on this if you want to see. And so this is also why it works so well with Electo, and why it can just pull all this from GitHub and put it nicely into a nice platform that is a little easier to navigate for folks. But yeah. Any other questions? That was a great question, Adinka.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, well, let's move on. As we mentioned, we've been talking about, for the last few weeks, we've been talking about kind of cycling out some of the tasks of the community manager while we are still in limbo. That is true. We're still in limbo. We still don't know. Hopefully soon. We just keep saying that, I know, but it would be great if we actually could get some information about it. But in the meantime, this was something that came up last time, was about the uploading of videos to YouTube, because it is very time consuming and there are a lot of meetings now, so it can pile up pretty quickly. So we were talking about automatically posting something to YouTube. We mentioned the fact that we did have a manual kind of interjection there, just in case someone said something confidential about their company or something that they just were like, oh, I shouldn't have said that if we're recording and now it's posted. Can we take that out? So we kind of left that manual step in there as a check. I think that has happened maybe twice, maybe 3 times in my entire 6 years of being here. So it does not happen often, and it really does make it a lot more time consuming. So that being said, there is an option to live stream these to YouTube as we're going through these meetings, and we can set that listing to private so people can't just watch it on YouTube, which I think is okay, because I would rather people come here than just watch it from YouTube. And maybe that's a controversial opinion, but I would rather them come here and engage instead of just watching and then maybe commenting on YouTube or something where we're not going to really see it. It's going to be one more place we have to check for comments and things. So we can set it to private. Then we can just go back. It's already there. We can add the little image, that the thumbnail at the beginning, add it to the right playlist, give it the metadata, whatever else is there. And then but the files themselves are already there, which is really the most time consuming part of the process.
I think it should also be possible to turn the comments off if we would like to do that too.
We could, yeah, we could. Yeah, we also talked about building a bot to kind of handle those reminders, which we still could look at doing for sure, and facilitating that time delay. I read on Zoom there is a 30-second time delay of going from Zoom to YouTube. So I guess that does give you a chance to, cut out any inappropriate language or whatever else. It's only 30 seconds.
I
But
think
that
that's
being
more
said,
when it's live. Like the
yeah,
live on YouTube will probably be delayed just
yeah,
because YouTube's probably got to process it 3 different ways
too,
and
yeah,
whatever,
for
due to
sure.
automatic captions and all that.
Copyright stuff and all that, yeah. So so that is, but since it's set to private, if we do decide to leave it at private, then the only people who would have seen that were the people in the meeting, and they would already have seen that. So so nobody will have seen it yet. I don't know, whatever we think. And we do still need to kind of go back in and assign it to a playlist, put that image in and put the description in and all that stuff. I don't think there is an automated way to do all of that. I think you have to do that manually through YouTube.
I know, having run the live stream for CHAOSScon, you can set a lot of that up in advance. Like you could have a pre-scheduled. I don't know how Zoom would work with it if it's like a pre-scheduled stream. Um, Maybe there's a way maybe Zoom will just populate it with the meeting name and description by default. I'd have to look into how that specific works, but anyway.
Yeah, I think you have to have it scheduled. And so right now they all show up as just Chaos Communities personal meeting or whatever it is, because we just use the link. We don't have these meetings actually scheduled through Zoom, there, except for the offset ones. So if there's a conflict, then those conflicting meetings do get scheduled inside of Zoom so we can give them another link. But everybody else just has the regular link, and so they're not scheduled. But, to your point, if we did that, they would at least have the name in there, which would be helpful for sure. So just something to think about. I just kind of wanted to see, like, what do we think about this? Are there any issues with doing this? Does anybody see any problems with that I'm not seeing?
It does sound like it would be easier, and I'm all for making it easier so that we can get the recordings up earlier.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will post this to the working group leader channel just to get their feedback as well. And if I don't know if we want to make this a community-wide thing, I think that would be great if we did, but I will also bring this up with the working group leaders and just to get their feeling about it. If they like, if somebody has strong feelings against it, that's totally fine. We can sort that out. But let me just drop that in here. Okay. Do you all think this is something we should post in general too, or do you think it's just not that deep? Okay, I guess it's not that deep. So I'm not going to do that. Cool. Okay. I'm good at not doing things. That's perfect for me. That's great. All right. Okay. Anything else that we skipped, we didn't talk about? All right. Your last reminder is All Things Open, which is a great conference. CFP deadline is March 31st. That's coming up very soon. So if you do want to submit something, you should do that sooner than later. It is a really great conference. I love that conference a lot. All right. Unless anybody has anything else, then I think we're good to go. Okay. See you later, everybody. Bye.